Stop posting content that sounds good, but doesn't convert. Your content problem is really a strategy problem. ViralGen turns your idea into hook scripts, audience insight, conversion strategy. Get niche-aware output in seconds. Free gets you started. Pro unlocks scripts, agency unlocks full cash bridge strategy. Start your free trial, getviralgen.io.
Drowning in content chaos? ViralGen is the lifeboat. Type in a biz idea, pick niche, audience, platform, goal, tone, then hit generate. Boom! Hooks pop up like magic. Pro scripts and agency strategies? Locked and loaded. Dive into metrics like a pro. It's like having a content wizard in your pocket. Start a free trial at getviralgen.io and let the AI do the heavy lifting.
Struggling to keep up with content trends? ViralGen AI platform is the game changer. Log in, upload, boom! Instant viral-worthy content ideas. With its AI-driven insights and creative prompts, it's like having a genius content buddy who never sleeps. Perfect for creators craving fresh, engaging posts without the burnout. Tried it once? Now it's like caffeine for creativity. Dive in and level up your content game today.
Hi, David.
Hi, Sai, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Have I pronounced your name correctly? Is it Sai?
Yeah, it's correct.
Good. Where are you based?
So, I'm from South India, Hyderabad city.
Are you in Hyderabad? I've spent quite a bit of time in southern India, so quite a bit in Chennai, Mysore, along in Tamil Nadu, quite a bit of time in Tamil Nadu. So yeah, I know the area a little bit.
So can you put your camera a little bit down so that you can fit in the screen?
Can I put my watch?
Yeah, this is great.
That better?
Yeah. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity to present you on my show, and it is good that you have familiarity with our country.
I love India. I've probably spent about 9 months total in India, so it's a beautiful place.
So I've gone through a profile. I can see you're doing great work. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience. So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Hi everyone, my name is David Williams. I'm based in the United Kingdom. I have been in business and entrepreneurship for nearly 20 years. In one way, shape or form, I've worked on all 4 continents, everywhere from West Africa all the way through to India and Nepal. And predominantly it's been building communities in one way, shape or form, at first in the education space, and now more in the entrepreneurship space.
So right now you're working on?
So the 2 things I'm working on currently, one as head of community and chief operating officer for Ideas Forums, we build entrepreneurial communities across the United Kingdom, working with 100,000 entrepreneurs and business founders. We have a number.
You are telling about what you're doing.
Yeah, so currently working as a chief operating officer and head of community for Ideas Forums based in the United Kingdom. We work with 100,000 entrepreneurs and founders in a range of different ways, but our key thing is we connect people. So we bring communities together. So the pinpoint of our year is Ideas Fest. It's a festival for entrepreneurs. 6,000 people in a field with 300 speakers and events that go on over the course of 2 days. And we're really fortunate in that last year we were able to track over £4 million of investment that came out of our festival. So that's a great thing to be doing, and we're only growing with that program. I also have, as all good entrepreneurs do, another business which I've spun out, which is a software as a service business, and that's for membership organizations to help them get their member stories, press coverage, and be able to monitor and track everything that happens along that journey. So creating value for small businesses, but also membership organizations.
So Ideas Forums. So how does it work?
So we run a number of awards. So we run the UK Startup Awards. So that is for businesses 3 years and under. in 10 regions and areas of the United Kingdom. So if you imagine you had the states of India all having their different startup awards. So they have the regional finals. So this year we had 2,000 entrants from across the United Kingdom. This month of June, we will have all the regional awards, which will bring the top ones in each of those regions together. Of those winners, we then have a national final. So that then takes place in September, where we crown the best of the best in the United Kingdom. So we've had some amazing people come through that program. So Simi Dillon, who runs CommunityAt, which is a really big UK brand that deliver food deliveries. So that's like a healthy meals. We've also had Magic AI, which is a fitness platform that have come through our startup awards. So we've had some multi-million-pound businesses that have come through those programs, and they enter our community at that stage. We then also run the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. So that's 1,500 people. We've currently got 3,000 businesses, 9,000 entries for this year alone into that award program. And we celebrate them in November in London in a very nice hotel. And from those, we've had some of the biggest brands to come out of the United Kingdom. So Stephen Bartlett, if you know who Stephen Bartlett is, a very big entrepreneur in the UK, one of the dragons on Dragon's Den. He called us the Grammys of entrepreneurship. So really celebrating what entrepreneurs in the UK do. And then we have the Fast Growth Index, which are the fastest growing companies in the United Kingdom. So these are companies with over £1 million in revenue, and often growing by multiple hundreds of percent. So the lowest percentage last year of growth was 190% year on year over the last 2 years. So they're fast growing, ambitious, and are oftentimes the next big things that are happening in the United Kingdom. And we celebrate them again in November. And through those programs, and then with our Ideas Fest and some of the more standalone events that we run, we build connection, and people start to get interested in what others are doing. And it's amazing what happens when you put people in a room together. Like, entrepreneurs are a strange breed, right? We can be quite independent. We can be, we probably don't ask for help as often as we should. It can be quite lonely. It's a difficult journey. And it's very different from people who are in jobs. So when you go home with a paycheck every month, there's a mindset that happens there. When you're an entrepreneur and you're responsible for every penny that you earn, it's a different mindset. And India's an interesting place because, like, I've been to India a lot. Indians, I found, are very entrepreneurial. Like, everyone has that kind of mindset. You know, whether they're working for a business or whether they've got their own thing going, they're always thinking about what's the next step, which is why I find India such an exciting place to go. And I often talk about this thing in the UK where when I set my first business up, and I remember going and talking to my parents, and they're both well educated, but they've worked in jobs all their lives. They didn't understand it, so they don't understand the challenges that come with it. And so that's why it's lonely. When you surround yourselves with people who get it, so I can pick the phone up, I can literally pick the phone up to someone and go, I had a really bad day today. This has happened, this has happened, this has happened. They get it, they understand. And you build this amazing, trusted network of people who all want to see you do well. They all want to see you succeed. And it's a wonderful place to be.
So 9,000 entries.
Yeah.
And how it will be shortlisted and the businesses that you said.
So yeah, great question. So those 9,000 entries. So we have a bank of about 300 entrepreneurs across the UK, 300 to 400, and they will look at every entry. So the great thing about what we do is, and it's something that I'm really proud of, is that it's all integrity led. You can't buy your way in. You can't pay for sponsorship and have your name on the stage. It is completely independent. So within the team, no one sees those entries once they go out to the judges. Then they come back once they're judged. So we have no say in who wins. So I'll give you an example. Because of the network, you end up becoming good friends with people. And one of the companies who was up for an award last year, and I get on really well with the founder, and we've done business together, and he still didn't win. He came up to me, he was like, "Well, we've done all this work together, and like we're friends." I was like, "It's not down to me, or it's not down to the team. It is absolutely down to the application and the judges. So if you're the best, you will win," which means that people can really stand on that stage and be proud of their achievement. So once we get those 9,000 entries in, they are then filtered out by category and region. They go out to the judges. Each one is independently scored. They come back, so they'll each generally score a number of entries. They'll then come back. They're collated. Whoever's got the highest marks in each of those categories for each of those different award programs wins. It's as simple as that. But it means that if you've done a good job and you've got great business, you'll be standing on that stage.
And what are the parameters that will be considered in order to win an award?
Yeah, so depending on the particular award, so it might be for GBA, for the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, one of our categories could be food and beverage businesses, for example. And what makes a really great application for Great British Entrepreneur Awards, there are two things. One, it's about the entrepreneur. It has to be about the person who's got the passion and the drive to go forward. So to give you, Simi Dillon at Simmer Eats, amazing. Him and his brother have got this great business. It started when he was at university. It started with £10. He's got a great story that he brings in. He's now employed his mum, his dad. Like it's a really beautiful story. So part of it is about the individual story. So what made you decide to start the business? What struggles have you been through? How have you overcome them? What have you done to grow the business? What is it in you that drives you to be that great entrepreneur? And then the second is the business. So that's the financials. How much revenue you're generating? How many staff are you employing? What is your growth trajectory? What markets are you in? Are you looking at expanding outside the UK? All those elements contribute to your final score. And then once the judges scored against the criteria, that then comes back to us. They're all added up, and we release, and then the winners are announced on the night.
So how it is beneficial and useful for the businesses who participate?
So again, really good question. What we find is that as an entrepreneur, you do a lot of this head down. You're right in the business, trying to get it right. And you don't often lift your head up and look at all the things that have happened. So sometimes it's just good to recognize how far you've come and to take a little bit of time to celebrate that. So just to be, because otherwise you will burn out. You need to take that time to step aside and go, actually, yeah, we're doing a great job. We've done really, really well. And we need to celebrate that. The material benefits from the company, the business point of view. So for Great British Entrepreneur Awards, if you win an award, even if you're a finalist, you've got 1,500 other people in that room who could potentially be partners, investors, customers. You are immediately in the space with people who can help you, who might buy from you, or who could invest in you. So it's a great platform from that position. And then secondly, through our network, so then we've got 100,000 businesses across all of our channels, our social channels, our email lists that we promote and say and celebrate these businesses. So we get people get picked up by media. They get media coverage. The winner last year had, I don't know if you've been to London, but in London we have the black cabs. You know the black cabs in London?
Yeah.
And when you get in a black cab, there are these seats that tip up and tip down. And so they won the advertising on these seats for a whole year in a capital city that has 9 million people and has, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of visitors. Their company was featured for a whole year on the back of these seats. Now, you would pay a lot of money to get that. That was part of what one of our sponsors offered in return. So it gets you in the right rooms with the right people.
So when did it started? And it's a great and amazing idea that makes everyone to feel happy for some time going through the stress and building a business or an entity.
So the different awards start at different times. So the UK Startup Awards started as the Wales Startup Awards. So Wales is one of the countries that make up the United Kingdom, and it started with Dylan Jones-Evans, who was a professor of was professor of entrepreneurship in South Wales. And he recognized that there was a gap where startups weren't being supported. And so he set up the Startup Awards. Prior to that, he'd set up the Welsh Fast Growth 50, again, celebrating fast growing companies in that region of the United Kingdom. And when Frankie James had the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. Now, they're a couple in life as in business. I've known Dylan for 10 years. I've known Frankie for as long as they've been together. And it just became this point in time where it was a natural fit. Great British Entrepreneur Awards have been running for 14 years. The Fast Growth have been running 25 years. The Startup Awards have been running for about 7 or 8 years. Bringing them all together and using that all of our shared knowledge and experience to help grow those communities felt like the right thing to do.
And what all industries will participate in it?
Oh, so everything from food and beverage to, AI-driven tech businesses and everything in between. So we have manufacture, we have healthcare, we have food and beverage, we have technology services, we have logistics, we have anyone who is contributing to the UK economy, trying to drive forward in entrepreneurship is welcome to apply.
So in recent times, what was the last? Can you tell about the last awards?
Yeah, so the two things I'd say really. The last awards for Great British Entrepreneur Awards was last November. But what we're really, really excited about at the moment, and just to give you some context, so with those 9,000 applications, their combined turnover is over £1.5 billion. So I don't know what that is I don't know what that would be in Indian rupees, but it's a big number for us. Yeah. £1.5 billion is a big number. You're talking over $2 billion. And they're looking for nearly £1 billion worth of investment. So you can see that they're really trying to grow. And we have all this data that we're able to kind of share. So out of the last awards, the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, we've seen, so Magic AI, Simmer-Eats, they have gone absolutely skyrocketed. They are some huge brands. Scamp and Dude, there are some huge now international brands that have come through our programs. What we're really excited about at the minute, so next week is the very first regional finals for the UK Startup Awards. So we'll be up in London, we'll be in the southeast, and we'll be in the east of England, celebrating the top startup businesses in those areas. Those award nights, we hold them in cinemas. It's like a film theme, like celebrate. What it's like to really be on the red carpet. Like that's that idea. And then if they win, they then come to Ideas Fest in September, and we celebrate them there with 6,000 other entrepreneurs all together. And we're very lucky that we have support from people like UBS, the bank. We work with Alaka. We work with some of the other big institutions in the United Kingdom, and we're very fortunate in terms of the support we get, because we know what we bring to the table in terms of those entrepreneurs in that community. And it's great that we get brand alignment with people like, I say Starling, or as a bank, or UBS as a wealth manager, or insurance brokers, or accountants. We really do. We're very, very fortunate to work with some great brands as well.
So what do they speak, the awardees, and how much time that will be given to allowed for them to talk?
The winners?
Yeah.
So generally, from an awards night point of view, not a lot, because we celebrate so many. So they come on, they get their photo, and they then come off stage. Though what we tend to see is afterwards, we try to do vox pops, interview them afterwards, and then they use those little interviews on their own socials and their own platforms, as well as being shared by ourselves. The real value is afterwards, and I've got it on like photos from my first business, where I remember the next morning I got a photo of me and the award that I'd won, sat drinking coffee back at the desk, like going back at it, because that's what you do as an entrepreneur. You don't stop. You have this moment of celebration, and the next thing you do is get back right into it and start trying to get the next customer and work with the next person and build the next piece of your business. So what we find is that our entrepreneurs will use that moment to celebrate, and you'll see it all over their socials, and then the next week they are right back at it, working hard for the next thing.
So you are seeing different kind of businesses and different owners who are coming from different industries. What do you think? What is working for them to, be successful?
Oh, that's a great question. I think generally the things that contribute to success: tenacity, so never giving up. And I've done a lot of coaching and consulting over the years, and the thing that I often say to people is, it's not no, it's a not yet. So when it's right, it's just not yet. So what you find, great entrepreneurs are really good at the not yets. They're not worried about the no's, because as an entrepreneur, you're going to get a lot of no's. So if you don't like the word no, don't be an entrepreneur, because people will keep going, no, 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 no. And then all of a sudden it'll be yes. So tenacity, that ability to keep going. Adaptation, the ability to, we've had some challenging times over the last 5 years, the ability to take what you've got and adapt it and move it and fit the market. The belief in yourself that you're doing the thing that you should be doing, that absolute self-belief that no matter what else is coming your way, this is the thing you're meant to be doing, you're meant to be on this earth to do. That belief is really, really important. From a more pragmatic and practical side, what you tend to find is they have good systems in place. They're really good at kind of organizing and putting the processes in place to allow them to grow. Getting out there, talking to people, doing things like this, it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do for a lot of people. But the ones you find successful are putting themselves out there more and more and more, whether that be on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or whether that be more kind of formal presenting things at events and conferences, etc. But putting themselves out there. And probably the biggest thing is they are willing to learn. They don't know everything, so they will ask good questions. And if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Go to the room where people who are cleverer than you, who are smarter than you, who make you go, I wonder. And good entrepreneurs are always willing to be in the room where they're not the smartest person.
So how UK government is supporting this?
So the UK is a really interesting environment to be in, for lots of factors. You know, we're very fortunate in the UK that the legal structure and the corporate structure are quite simple, and they're very well known. So it's easy for us to work elsewhere if we want to. So my first company was international. It was easier to be based in the UK and work internationally than some other places. UK government, particularly, we've just had a big change in government the last 2 years. A new government's come in. It's a challenging environment. Some things, you know, they brought in that people are not as happy about, particularly around things like raising rates of tax on businesses. That's difficult. On the other hand, you can see that they are trying to listen to business and trying to support with different economic policies and trying to look at ways of growing business. I think the main benefit of being based here in the UK is it's a very well-known system. Like, it's, you know, you can navigate it fairly straightforwardly if you want to, and there is still opportunity and options to go and be an entrepreneur here. Like, you know, you can set up and start. It's not easy, but then nothing that is ever worthwhile is easy to do. You have to work for it and want it. But yeah, I think UK government right now there's definitely got work to do. It's got work to support business because, you know, we do employ lots of people. We are there to build the economy. That's what we are really good at. So they need to support us. But equally, I can see that there are some challenging times ahead. So yeah, it's not perfect, but there are opportunities.
So what is the process for the participation in this awards?
For our awards participation, you have a UK business. If you want to say if you're in the startup awards, be under 3 years. That's it. That's all you need to be. UK business under 3 years. For the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, again, UK business, any age, and tends to be businesses that are a little bit established, who've got some traction, and are really building to go either, you know, national or global. For the UK fast growth index, what I love about it is you can't choose. Like, it is, has your business grown more than like 150% in the last 2 years or not? If it hasn't, you can't be in it. If it has, you might have a chance, because it is based purely on turnover numbers. And the beauty of it, so Dolan, who runs the awards, started the awards, professor of entrepreneurship. He holds a PhD. He's a professor of entrepreneurship. He runs that award. There is not a list anywhere in the UK that is more robust than our one. So you must be familiar with the Times newspaper. Yeah. So they run the Times list, the Times 100. I would argue with anyone, our list is better, because Dolan, as an academic, as a professor, is so diligent about making sure the data is accurate. Like, no one gets through the net. He is really, really good at what he does. And that means if you're on that list, you really are like the top of what you do in the UK. So as long as you're a UK-based business and you fit into those little criteria, you can apply. Come and join us.
And tell us about your team.
We got a great team. We're really lucky. So we're quite a small team. And I like to think of us like we're kind of like the rebels without the cause. We're kind of like this tight little unit. And we punch way above our weight. So there's Fran, and Dalan, myself. We have Tom, who's our CFO, who keeps us all in check with the money. We have then a great events team, so led by Zoe and Tiz, who you can imagine we run multiple events across the UK and across the calendar, and they are always way ahead of everything that happens. And they're so good at what they do. We have Olivia, who is in charge of our brand and looks after the stages. We're on Ideas Fest. And we have Megan, who is our socials person. Now, oh my word, amazing what she does. She's the person who's getting on the videos, doing the reels, telling me or Fran or Dal what we need to record, and then we'll put it up. I wouldn't be able to do that on my own. She's great at leading that. We've got Josh and Theo, and they really look after our partners and our concierge, making sure everyone in our community feels that they've been looked after and they're welcome and they're supported. So they do a really great job on that. And we have Jack and Annabelle, who are our sales team, and they speak to all of our partners at least once a week to make sure that they're all happy and bring on new sponsors and new partners. And then we also have a very small team based in the Philippines, and they're phenomenal. They do a lot of our admin back of office work. So Joe does quite a lot of our social posts as well. So yeah, we're really, really fortunate to have a team that all sees the vision and is all driving towards that. So yeah, we are fortunate.
So usually running a business, it can be a startup or mid-scale or large-scale company. The business owners knows how tough it is. And you handling all these business owners and giving awards, and how is that, how responsible it is for you, for your team?
It's a huge responsibility. Running a business is hard. Like, I don't care where in the world you are, or what or how big your business is. It could be, you can run a tabletop, like a little startup, a little tabletop craft startup. You'll still feel all the pain that someone running a big business will. Different scales, different problems, but that when you first set up your own company, it's like having a child. I've got 2 children, and I know that it feels like another child. Like, you care about it, you worry about it, you love it, you believe in it, you believe in it, in its potential to do something, and that's like having children. And so when you have 100,000 businesses that look to you in sometimes some of them in a small way and some of them in a big way, to lead, to support them, to provide opportunity, that's a massive responsibility. I said earlier that last year we were able to track £4 million of investment to businesses that came to our festival. I mean, that to me, I remember when we gathered that data, I was so proud. I was really, really proud of our whole team. I was proud of what we achieved, because that within that investment, that's changing lives. That's changing people's lives. I often use a quote. So I'll say that, the old adage or the old quote is, it takes a village to raise a child. You've heard that one? And I use the same analogy, and I say it takes community to raise a business, because it's so lonely. You have to have your village elders, those people you look to for advice. You have to have your peers, the people who are going to, sit up all night drinking coffee with you and get you through that tough bit. And you need the people below that to see and be inspired and to come through and be the people who want to emulate what you've done. So it does take a community to raise a business, and I kind of see us as a bit like, we're kind of like the midwives. We're looking after all the people. We care about them, and that's a big responsibility, but it's something that I love doing.
So what kind of conversation that happens between founders and CEOs in
Yeah.
the award?
Oh, do you know what? Some of the conversations are really practical, and some of them are completely like it's the real personal stuff. So the practical ones are where it's just advice. Like, so you'll get people going, "Oh, I didn't realize that about accountancy or legal or sales or marketing." It's just something that they didn't know, and having someone to be able to go and ask the question is massive. It's a big thing, right? So it's practical advice. But the best stuff is the real heart to heart. Like, I remember waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning in my first company, and my heart was beating, and I was like, am I going to be able to pay everyone this month? Because you are constantly struggling and thinking about, have I got enough for this? Have I got enough for that? And I hadn't shared that story. And it fell into another story of when I was in Oman and we had to pay this big bill. It's £20,000. And we were chasing invoices all night chasing invoices to make sure we had the money in the bank. I didn't know whether it was going to be there to pay the bill. And I was talking to some other founders and said, oh, I got it. I remember the stress and the worry, and every single one of them had been in that position. I went, it's okay. I remember that. It's all right. You're okay. And the power of someone who has been there going, it's all right. You can get through this. You can do this, is huge. You know, when you spend so much of your time thinking about the business, you miss things, you miss events, you miss family things, you miss time with friends, you do all these things. To have someone say to you, it's okay, you're doing a great job, and I've been there, I know what it's like, that's massive. So yes, there are like practical things they tell you that people will talk about, and sometimes what's interesting with the practical things is where they're in two different industries. And someone will say, I tried, like, we tried to do a new marketing campaign, and we used postcards. And the person in the other industry goes, I've never tried that. Maybe I'll try it. And they try it and they get a really good result. And then they come back and they go, thank you so much for that. I can't believe how well that worked. It's the cross-pollination of those ideas, the practical things, is the one level. But the special level for me is the personal stuff, where you can really feel like you're part of a community, you're part of a tribe. And I've got people on my phone that I could phone up at any time of the day or night, and I know they'd pick the phone up and go, are you okay? And that's pretty special.
So as an entrepreneur, how to think in the right direction and hit the target and get the success and get the award in from you?
How to get the right... I think the key thing to consider, why are you doing it? Right? So the why is important. So if Simon Sinek, a great writer in America, he talks about, what is your why? Go for why. And if you can understand why you're doing it, that's all the motivation you'll need. You'll realize all the sacrifice, all the things that you're doing. So why is your why? So your personal why, your customers' why, your suppliers' why, like ask why are they there and what are they doing is a huge thing, because there are lots and lots of good ideas that you will not make money at. They're great ideas, but there's no money and there's no commercial in it. So if you can understand the why at each stage, it's much easier to see what the commercial opportunities are. And then I would say, as fast as you can, get to MVP. Get one person to buy your thing. So whatever that might be, if you're starting out and you've got a great idea, your first thing you should do before you do anything else, before you spend money in marketing and sales and platforms and setting up the business and all of that stuff, get one person to buy it. Because if you've got one person to buy what you're selling, you've probably got a market, you've probably got an opportunity. Because that's the hardest thing, getting the first customer. First customer is the hardest one. Everything else then is just going, okay, what is it about that person and my product that fits? And can I find some more people like that? That's the hardest bit. Once you've got there, talk to as many people as you can. Keep talking about what you do. Keep talking about everything that you're passionate about. Be in as many rooms as you can. Be on LinkedIn. Be out there talking about what you do, because you'll never know who is listening. And entrepreneurs often get caught up in a bit of a trap where you get head down in the thing and you don't think about who you're talking to and being out there. Get out there, talk to everyone, because they'll shape your business. They'll go, oh, that's a great idea. Or have you thought about this? Or have you considered doing it this way? I'm not saying you should take everyone's advice, because you would just end up in a circle. So take good counsel, but be out there talking about what you do is the most important thing. Don't keep it tight. Like, tell everyone.
So if the entrepreneur mind is filled with all the no's, how do they, what is that thing that will drive them and push them to, work for that yes?
Have you watched Rocky, the movie? No. Okay, you might be too young. So there's a great film called Rocky. It's with Sylvester Stallone. It's Rocky 2 particularly. He says, he talks about success and failure. And it's not the man who can take the hardest hit that will win. It's the man who can get hit, go down and get back up again, that will win. And that's the sense of it. Every time you get hit by a no, the people who will be successful are the people who can go, that's okay, I'm going to go to the next one. And I learned this thing when I first set my first company up, and I made a deal with myself. I said, I am going to phone 100 of my perfect customers. Me personally, I'm not going to give it to someone else. I'm going to phone them. And I am not going to stop until I phoned 100 of them. And so I picked the phone up and I phoned the first one and I had a no. And I put an X on a piece of paper. Next one, another X. Next one, another X. I got to 27 and I got a yes. And it was only a yes for me to send some information. That's all it was. But then I said, oh, okay. For every 27 people I phone, I'm going to get a yes. So I can't wait now to call 27 more people, because I know I'm going to get a yes. So I just kept phoning then, because I was like, right, I only need to phone 27 more people and I get another yes. And it was about 25 or 26, I got another yes. So by the time I went from my 100, I had 4 yeses for information. And I sent that information. And because I knew that then that as long as I was phoning about 100 people, I'd get 4 yeses, it makes it easy. Because I'm like, I'm going to get 4 yeses. If I phone 100 people, I'm going to get 4 yeses. Great. So flip your mindset away from no and to yes. I'm just going to get there. And sometimes it might only be 5. Sometimes it might be 50. But once you find out what that number is, oh my God, is it exciting? Because you go, I've just got to phone 50 people today and I'll get a yes. Or I've just got to phone 10 people and I'll get a yes. And we get too into ourselves. Like, we get too worried about what people think. We get too worried about like how we're going to be seen or thought about, or, I don't care. I do not care anymore. Like, I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. It might not be for you yet, but at some point it might be. So I'm going to tell you about it.
So in the beginning of the call, you said that business leaders has to have a different mindset. So why you said that?
Because it's hard. Right? It's hard. Running a business is difficult. Like, don't let anyone ever tell you it's easy. And that's what I don't like. I don't agree with a lot of the people you see online. I don't agree with a lot of people you see online who go, business is easy. You can make $10,000 in 1 month by doing this. Business is hard. Like, what it gives you, like, you're in control of your destiny. So the mindset for me of an entrepreneur needs to be, they have to be inquisitive. You have to want to solve a problem. Like, you've got to have it in your head to go, like, not just let life go over you. You actually meet life and you want to go, I want to solve a problem. So that's the first bit of the mindset. You want to solve a problem. The second thing is that you have a drive to do the things other people just aren't prepared to do. Because if you went in the street, maybe not in India, because I said earlier in the call that the amount of Indian people I know who are entrepreneurial is amazing. But you go to the street in London and you walk down the street and every person you meet, you say, right, make 100 phone calls. You need to make 100 phone calls to be successful. They won't do it. The vast majority of people won't do it because they're scared of what people will think, right?
Yeah.
So that mindset has to be, I don't care. I believe in what I'm doing so much that I will make those calls. So you've got to have a problem to solve. You've got to be inquisitive. You've got to have the drive to go and hear the no's and keep going because you believe so much in what you do. Those are two things. You've got to be, as I said earlier, prepared to ask questions and surround yourselves with people who are better than you. They're brighter than you. They're smarter than you. They've got more experience than you, because you have to learn. As an entrepreneur, you have to learn. And then probably the fourth bit, if you do all those you still there?
Yeah, we're connected. Yeah.
That generates income. So if you do the first three things, if you find the problem, if you and create the solution, you're willing to get out your own way and ask and go out there and tell everyone about it, and then you're willing to ask for help. If you can do those three things, you will definitely be on your way to being a great entrepreneur. The fourth one is commercialize it, is being able to put the money to it. And you get those things right, and no one can stop you. It's all here. It's all down to you. And that's the amazing bit, that, like, how exciting that as a human being that you can go out there and you can create your own life. You know, you can make it happen for yourself. And that's what I think is amazing as an opportunity.
So you are actually experiencing and noticing and observing different businesses and different business owners. So all the business owners that you are observing in the awards functions, and also while they are speaking or seeing the scale of their business or the functioning of their business, all the stories that you hear who are coming from different parts in a country, do you find the same or different, their journey?
You find very, very similar stories. That's the interesting bit. It doesn't seem to matter whether they're from a different industry or they're from a different location. I would say that 99% of them all have found a problem and they've decided that they were the person to solve it. Now, it might not be, for some people, it's like they're working in an industry and they just get fed up of seeing the same problem come up and they go, I could do this better, and they go and do it, right? So that could be in the same industry. So for example, it could be in telecoms and they work for a call center or a business and they go, I don't think the customer service here is great. I'm going to set up another call center with a better customer service, and that's going to be my thing, right? That they're solving a problem. It's as simple as that. It could be something completely different. Like they've realized that so Elon Musk with SpaceX, or with one of his businesses, or the iPhone, Apple and the iPhone completely changed the way in which we did something, right? So it can be that visionary and everything in between. So they've all found the problem and they've gone, I'm not going to give it to someone else. I'm not giving my problem to Sai to solve. I'm going to solve the problem, and then I'm going to see what happens. So every single business I meet, every business leader I meet has had that moment where they've gone, yeah, it's a problem, I'm going to solve it. Like, that's a really common thing. The second thing is that they are always willing to learn. Like, you get into a room of entrepreneurs and it's awesome because they're all asking questions. Oh, so how do you do that? What do you think about this? Have you thought about that? And they're always asking questions. So they're really inquisitive. And then they're able to connect the dots really quickly and go, oh, right, I'm going to take that bit from there and that bit from there, and then I'm going to use it. That's what they're really great at, taking the little pieces. So there's lots of common threads actually that you meet, and they've all got that real desire and drive that you can't do this without having a drive. Like, you can't, it's never 9 to 5, right? Like, you'll know this. It's not a 9 to 5. It's
24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night, and I was up at 5 o'clock this morning because my brain is ticking and thinking about things I want to do. And you can't help that. That's personality, right? But all entrepreneurs I know, the amount of entrepreneurs and business leaders that I message at 5 o'clock in the morning, only because I'm up and I'm doing something, not expecting a reply. And then I'll get oh yeah, how are things? Like, Europe as well. Like, that's what I mean about, it's like this, a tribe. It's a tribe of people who all want to succeed. But those are often the key things. They found a problem and they took ownership to solve it. They ask great questions and want to learn, and they have a drive and passion to see it through. They're the 3 key things that every entrepreneur has.
Tell me about you as an entrepreneur, as you're running the SaaS business.
Well, so I started but it was by accident. I'd worked all over the world, and within education predominantly, and I went, I can see I want to do this better. And within 3 months later, had the business and was working on 3 continents because of that. Phone. Yes, we can solve that problem. Let's go and do it. And I was completely naive. When the first business, I was completely naive. The amount of mistakes I made was so many mistakes. But it was quite nice, because if I'd known all the problems, I probably wouldn't have started. And I have always been entrepreneurial. So, and the word entrepreneurial doesn't necessarily always mean like you're trying to start a business necessarily. But for me, it's always you're looking for problems to solve. I always look for problems to solve from the time I was a child. And so that kind of led, so I had that company. We had COVID. That was a big problem for us. I did some consultancy, some coaching, had a little bit of time where I was trying to work out what I wanted to do. And then the SaaS platform came about because my girlfriend works in an industry, she works in tourism. And she said we were having dinner and she said, oh, I've got this problem. We've got all these partners we work with and they all want cut press. But it's all in inboxes and I don't know how, like, I do a bit of programming. I taught myself to program. I said, I think I could probably build something that would do that for you. And 6 weeks later, I came back. We were again having dinner. I went, have a look. And all of a sudden, she went, oh, that's good. And I did, the proof of the pudding's in the eating, right? I did exactly what I said. I what makes a good entrepreneur, what I do. I went and found my first customer. Okay. And I sold it to my first customer. And as soon as I did that, I was like, right, there's a business here. And I could understand it. I refined it and I changed some things. And now I've got someone who works in my sales team, does the sales and outreach. And it's still very, very early days and very, very small, but more and more people are now picking that up. And I've had interest from the United States. I've had interest from Canada, and not really done a lot of marketing on that side. So I will be an entrepreneur until the day I die. It is the thing that I am. And whether it's as part of a team working with the awards and working with all these entrepreneurs, or it's whether it's my own venture on the side. It's like the Matrix. When you take the pill and you detach yourself from the rest of the Matrix, the rest of the working world, you never be the same again. And I love it. I couldn't be anything else.
So you have two sides. One is being in a team where you are part of seeing different businesses and watching different business owners and seeing how different businesses in the UK are built and how they are getting awards and that's in front of you. And on other side, you become an entrepreneur trying to start with something and you sold it and you're already doing great work in it. So how do you define yourself now?
Oh, that's a good question, Sai. How to define myself? I am an entrepreneur at heart. That's what I am. And I'm someone who is inquisitive, who likes to solve problems, who is interested in people, and wants to give people opportunities. And so I'm really fortunate. I'm a dad, I'm a father, so I think I'd probably define myself as that as well. And that's that nurturing side of me. But yeah, I think, when I die and someone says, at the funeral, what was David? I would hope that one of the first words that came to people's mind was entrepreneur, because I think that's what my life has been. Kind, entrepreneur, dad, and liked an adventure. So, and that's what life is an adventure, and that's what business is. So, yeah, I think that's how I would define myself.
One piece of advice that any entrepreneur who is hearing and watching this and your words, which will be extremely valuable, which may drive. What is
one piece of advice? I'm going to give you two because I think they interlink. Just do it. First piece of advice. Just like Nike, just do it. Stop thinking about it, just do it. And the second piece of advice, never, ever, ever be worried about asking the question. We spend too much time worrying about, can I ask that person? Can I ask that thing? Ask the question. Because if you ask good questions and you get good answers, that will accelerate your growth way beyond anything else. So just do it. Don't be scared to ask the questions.
So how do any person can understand that there is an entrepreneur inside him?
When you wake up in the morning and you go downstairs and you make your tea or you make your coffee and you make your breakfast, if your mind is working, going, I wonder whether that could be done better. I wonder whether this could happen. I wonder whether these things could change. What would happen if the kettle was over here and that was automatic? Or you open your laptop and you go, why do I have to press 5 buttons every time to get one thing? If your mind is always asking questions about how things can get better, you're not going to. It's as
At
simple as
last,
that.
what do you say about my work?
Oh, it's been great. Do you know what? When you first contacted me, I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And then I started to look through what you're doing, and the people you're speaking to are amazing. Like, you've got such a great opportunity and a great voice. And this is the thing about like coming out of India, right? I love India for lots of reasons, but some of my best friends are from India that I've met through entrepreneurship. And you you don't see the limits. You can do anything, right? Like, India is such a young country, so many full of young people. There's so many opportunities. Like, there are no limits to what you can do. And I think you absolutely epitomize that. Like, you're going out there, you're doing your thing, and you'll get there. You will absolutely get to where you want to get to,
What is making you to say that?
because you're doing this right now. Like, things like this, they're not easy. They're simple. Reach out, ask someone, but they're not easy because you've got to put yourself out there. Again, the analogy that I said earlier about walking down the street in London, right? If you said to someone, those same 100 people, I'd like you to reach out to business leaders on LinkedIn to interview them. 99 out of 100 of them would say no. So you're already in the 1%, right? Already in the 1%. And then all it takes is that effort. So you got effort, and you've got the desire to do it. You'll do great things.
So I have done more than 870 plus interviews in last 6 years, and I've done masters in software engineering, also bachelors in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm working as a DevOps engineer for a London company from India. So that's the role, and also I'm being a relationship development director and being multiple roles for multiple companies. And also, this is my own work, the podcast that I have created and earned like 40,000 plus followers with this.
I was looking.
So I have interviewed humans who belong to more than 100 countries, and also the business owners, more than 200 plus chief executive officers, founders. I have interviewed from small scale to large scale. And I have interviewed the vice president of Amazon Web Services, global leader. And I have interviewed the Salesforce vice president and film directors. There are very big list, very interesting people in coming days, and which is, yeah, Brazilers, all kind of people. I interviewed technology industry too. I interviewed the marine biologist, a scientist who works in NASA, and an author, a psychologist, a police officer, and I try to interview people who are not my industry, and try
Yeah.
to explore what they're doing and how they're making things possible and how they're solving the problems in their own field. So me having these conversations, experts like you who are already in the industry and solving different kinds of problems and creating some energy and giving a positive message to the planet, how this experience, conversations, and people skills are going to be helpful for me in my career and in my future.
I think two things, right? There's never enough knowledge about. So it's synthesis, right? So the idea is synthesis. So if you're thinking about, like I said earlier, that cross-pollination, taking ideas from here and taking ideas from there and thinking about, like, what my question back to you, right, is what do you want it to be? What do you want?
I want to be the global leader
In what? Be specific.
in technology industry,
Be more specific.
providing the technology services and solving the technological services, like especially using the internet, what all you can do.
Okay.
With the service, with the technology, using technology, what problems you can solve. If you want me to be more specific, I'm right now solving problems with using the technology, but using different technology tools and services. And I'm doing experiment with what is working more and what is reaching more. And as you said, the first customer that you have earned. So I have earned customers with multiple, things.
Right. Okay. So that's it. Right. Okay. You've got your first customer. So once you've got your first customer, that's the best feeling in the world. Okay. Once you've got your first customer, now ask yourself the question: why did they buy? What and who are they? And then just go out and find more of them. Okay. Ask them, talk to them, say, okay, thank you for buying. What made you buy? Why were you interested? What was the thing in the service I provided that you went, I absolutely have to do that? Because that will give you lots of feedback to then, because you've always got to be clear about the problem. So for the SaaS platform I built, the problem is membership organizations. So I'll give you a good example for India. So the Indian Cricket League. Okay. I like cricket. You like cricket?
Yeah, I'm a cricketer. I'm a professional cricketer. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. So think about all the little clubs, cricket clubs across India. Think about all of them. All of them have stories that they want to tell. And players who are great. And they're all members of the larger, state-by-state cricket boards, and then the Indian Cricket Board, right? The state-by-state cricket boards struggle because they're reasonably small teams to get all the information from all the little clubs. So what my platform does is make it easy. They can submit stories very, very quickly. We use technology, use AI to search and categorize and sort all those stories, finds the great ones, and then shares them. So it solves a problem. The problem it solves is that membership organizations struggle to get the stories out from their members. So therefore the members become disengaged. They don't renew their licenses. They get bored. The organization at the bottom, the member, gets their story told on a big platform, a big stage, so they get the recognition, they feel good. The organization can then report that to their board of directors or the board of trustees, look at the great work we're doing, and they can do it in one platform. So it solves the problem that they would have to go through emails and try and analyze things, and they miss things, and so it solves that one problem. So when I got my first customer, I went and said, right, tell me why you bought it. And it was really interesting because they said to me, that's a really strange question to ask us because we bought something from you. I said, I know it's a strange question because people don't ask the question, but I want to know what's in your head. That why did you, I know it solves your problem, but what thing went, oh, we absolutely have to have that. Once I knew that then became part of the language I used in every other conversation, because I'm talking to people just like them. So I can use that language, and then the next person says, oh yeah, I get it, because that's the same, you're using the same language. So ask your customer why they bought from you, find other people just like them, and go and have that conversation.
Okay. It's a big advice.
It's the only thing I've been doing this a long time. So
So can you share your online presence to my podcast listeners for listening and watching this from anywhere on this planet?
Yep. So you can reach me in a number of different places. So LinkedIn's a great one. So David Williams 1601. It's my / on LinkedIn. I'm sure I'll share these with you. You can get me at The Entrepreneurial Dad on Instagram. So that's a really good place to follow me. And then emails are all actually on my link tree. So go to Instagram at The Entrepreneurial Dad and follow the link tree, and you'll get me.
So one last observation, I think I want to ask you, because it will be very useful for me. So um, people who are coming from different countries, having different backgrounds, starting different businesses. Me coming from a particular part of the country on the planet, having conversations who are completely from different parts of the planet. What do you think that is working for me, to succeed in, doing all these interviews?
So the big thing for me, so my dad's family are Spanish and my mum's family are from the UK. So I grew up with two languages, two different cultures, two different things. And then when I got a little older, I went and traveled a lot. I traveled all around the world, and I worked all around the world. And my biggest observation, whether I was in Mysore or whether I was in Kathmandu or whether I was in Freetown in Sierra Leone or whether I was in London, at the base level, at the fundamental level, we're all just humans trying to figure it out. None of us have got the answer, and none of us are here forever. So if you connect with someone on a human level and just understand that we all want the same things, we all want to feel loved, we all want to feel that we've contributed to life, we all want to feel that we've made a difference. If you do that well, then you will always make good connections, because it doesn't matter whether you're in Iceland or whether you're in South America or whether you're in southern India, in Hyderabad. We all want the same things in life, and connect with people on a human level first, and then the business and the adventure will come out of that.
Sure. Words are, will be remembered forever in my mind.
I don't know about that, but I'd like, it would be nice.
So thank you very much again, David, for your valuable time and sharing the work that you're doing and answering some of my questions in my podcast.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you for the invite. I will obviously share when you publish, and I'm anything, if there's anyone you ask who watches this and is thinking about it, come and do it. It's great. And anything I can help you with, please let me know.
Definitely, David. I'll share your links on the screen as well. People who see this interview anywhere in the social media or internet can able to find the work that you're doing, and also I'm sure about the awards that you are actually giving in order to encourage encourage respect and value all the entrepreneurs in the UK. I believe it reaches to thousands of people. Yeah.
Thank you. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, again. Bye.
Bye-bye.